this is probably a good sort of segue into me wanting to discuss a subject matter with yourself and see how we can come together and collaborate on this particular subject. We as an entity have been getting a lot of calls from the elderly part of our community who, for one way or another, found themselves online and they're being scammed.
Yeah.
I have no idea how they find our numbers, and they're calling our numbers up and saying, I was told to call you guys because, I paid money here and expecting a shipment, I need to track you through. And I was like, how did you guys even find us? And then I take the time to listen into these good folks' stories, and invariably they've been scammed one way or another, and they've just, somebody on, in the scamming world must have just gone online, gave our number, sort of passed them off as however that works. There's not enough attention being put on that area where we can, talk about as an industry, help freight forwarders, because I know as a freight forwarder, we have been scammed, right? And I'm sure there's a lot of us out there.
Yeah.
So maybe we can come together and collaborate and deep dive into it. Maybe do a session where we have a roundtable, share stories of scams that's going about, the ones that have scammed, to share their personal stories, and then share solutions or safeguard ourselves to avoid this, because it is going to become, every year becomes a bigger and bigger and bigger problem. We try to reach out to the government bodies and so forth. When we've been scammed, they don't want to hear nothing about it. It's those two hard basket. So I think I see other industries are coming together as industries talking about it, and I think this is an area I think that's going to be very significant for us, because the language we're seeing being used by the scammers today, coming directly to us as a business, they've clearly got some experience in the industry.
Look, again, it's a great idea, and at least we can share those experiences as these are coming to know. Look, the other issue is just systems getting hacked.
Yes.
And look, unfortunately, we experienced it ourselves at FTA going back probably 3 or 4 years ago, and it was a total shock.
Yes.
But we ended up engaging a guy who was absolutely brilliant to do a penetration test of our system.
Wow.
But it was actually scary, because what we thought was a pretty solid system, he just tore holes through it and had all our data within no time flat.
Wow.
So we're then since working with him, and we've got an arrangement in place now where he'll do these penetration tests for members, but they're not cheap. But then you ask anyone who's been hacked, they go, geez, I wish I paid for it. But what he's now offering, and we'll be promoting it again too, is on a success basis.
Yes. Right.
So he'll do a penetration test, but if he can't crack your system, he won't charge.
Right.
So really, it's an opportunity now for the industry
do share it if you feel like sharing this information. Now or in another session, please do so. Because I think it's valuable. Whoever views, I'm sure there's a lot of industry folks looking at this right now. They'll be highly very keen on it.
Well, the details are on our homepage, on the FTA Freight and Trade Alliance homepage, so people can have a look.